Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's talk about two currencies now. Let's talk about the Zim as well as the Vietnam Dong. You know, people ask me all the time, how many Zims do you own, Pimpy? Zero. Absolutely zero. That's just me. What you do is your own thing, but I don't hold any Zim dollars. I have about 4 or 5 million Vietnam Dong and 4 and 5 million Iraqi dinars and probably about 10 million of Iranian reals. But that's it. Nothing else. I didn't get caught up in all the hoopla and stuff. And even though I do talk about the currencies because people ask me to, that does not mean that I actually hold them. So the last we heard, Vietnam was heading in the wrong direction with their currency values. And what is going on with Zim recently? Let's take a look at the two of them. Before I get started though, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. If you are not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver or any other precious metals, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Now, I remember, it had been about a year and a half ago or so, all these Nasera Jacera people out there talking about how the Zim dollar was a bond and everybody was going to get paid buku bucks, and it was all part of the quantum financial system. It's weird how you don't hear them talk about that anymore. It just all of a sudden, that whole story disappeared because it's a lie. All right, let's take a look at the news that came out today in Vietnam. Vietnam's currency dong drops to record low amid outflows, boosting prospect of intervention. So Vietnam's currency fell to a record low, prompting speculation that the central bank will intervene to curb the decline. So when you hear that the bank is going to interfere, that means they're going to manipulate the currency exchange rate. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they're going to devalue the currency is what's going to happen. I might be wrong, but I think they will. The dong on Friday weakened beyond its previous all-time low set back in 2020 as foreign funds sold the nation's stocks. Vietnam is way further along than Iraqi dinar. Many times they've been on the currency manipulation list. Depending on who's in office, if it's Trump, well, then he puts a smackdown. People get hit with sanctions and stuff like that, and it just straightens them right up. When you got corrupt people like the Democrats in there and Biden, they don't do anything to currency manipulators because they're invested in a lot of the companies that take advantage of the devalued currency and open up businesses overseas is what they do. So they're not going to do anything to help strengthen the currency. No way in heck. The currency has also come under pressure as the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes bolster the dollar. The currency's weakness may be capped at current levels as the central bank has said it was willing to sell dollars to stabilize the dong. Now remember, in the video I did about the Iraqi dinar, that's why they've been building up their foreign currency reserves. The more you have, the better it is for you to stabilize your currency's exchange rate. But there are countries all around the world selling US dollars, which means there's a lack of faith in it. People are going, no, it's because they're strong, Pimpy. No. If that's the case, then you hold it in your assets. Why would you want to sell the strongest currency? That means you have faith that something great is going to continue to happen over there in the United States. Everybody knows that the numbers are manipulated, the markets are lying, they're controlled by algorithms. Everything here is fake, including the strength of the US dollar. They're using the US dollar to crush currencies all around the world right now. They really are. So, looks like Vietnam's thinking about selling some US dollars in order to stabilize their coin. Emerging markets are grappling with steep declines in their currencies, even as authorities push back against a stronger dollar. Did you see what this says? Look at emerging markets are grappling with steep declines in their currencies. So it's more than one currency. There's multiple currencies struggling against a stronger US dollar. Explain to me how it is that these guys are printing trillions and trillions and trillions of US dollars and the dollar be that strong. It doesn't make any sense. The Philippine peso touched another record low on Friday, while the yuan weakened past the key 7 per dollar level. The State Bank of Vietnam is willing to sell foreign currencies to meet local market demands. So this is, again, the Asian markets are getting crushed. Now, this is all part of that great reset. It's a part of pushing everybody into these central bank digital currency. They're going to say, oh, look, no one country can have a stronger currency against another. We're all on an even playing field. Don't fall for that. It's just a lie. It's just they lied to the public, so they have an excuse to produce the central bank digital currency. And once that happens, then they control you. The dong dropped as much as 0.16% to 23,650 Vietnam dongs per $1 on Friday, the lowest since at least 1993, according to the data compiled by Bloomberg. Well, right now, then, that means it'd be a good time for you to go visit Vietnam. Seriously, your dollars could buy a ton of Vietnam dong. You could go live like a king over there for reals. Foreign funds sold a net 46.3 million of the nation's stocks this month. So they're dumping Vietnam stocks? Wow. Vietnam has had one of the strongest economies over the last couple of years, with just a small hiccup in the beginning of 2021. So that's what's going on with the Vietnam dong. They're apparently losing value. Their currency is devaluing. I don't believe that, but okay, because they say so, we're going for it. Well, what about Zimbabwe? What's going on there? Zimbabwe faces a cash shortage? What? Let's hear this news report real quick.
Imagine not being able to buy food and other items because you simply can't get access to banknotes to trade. Well, it's something Zimbabweans know only too well. The country has again been hit by a serious shortage of local currency, the Zim Dollar, also known as local bond notes. This has forced citizens to trade in foreign currency, especially the US dollar and the South African rand. The shortages have been caused by government suspension of payments to suppliers and contractors in efforts to arrest aspiring inflation. Now, NCA correspondent Pindai Dube brings us the story.
Ordinary Zimbabweans, especially street vendors, say the cash shortages have affected them a lot, as it is difficult to trade in foreign currency.
But here's the thing that gets me. Africa is one of the richest nations. Zimbabwe has all kinds of resources. They have gold, diamond, oil, just to name a handful of things. But yet that country is this poor? No. There's something much bigger happening, people. This is when the governments stop protecting the rights of the people and doing what's right for its citizens, and instead are more focused on their own personal interests and their own personal wealth through corruption. Over here in the United States, we have a constitution that says we have a right to remove our government and replace it with a new one when this happens. Well, we've been there for quite some time. And I think there's countries all around the world that are fed up of this. The same thing that's happening in Zimbabwe is happening to other countries as well. But let's continue.
Parents say it is now difficult to pay school fees, as most government schools are demanding the payment of fees in Zim dollars, which are just not available.
dai vangoti mabhondi angowanikwawo mashomawo sezvataingoitawo kuti tikwanise kurarama vana vaende kuchikoro nekuti murodhi matiri muno ndo munoita kuti vana vedu vaite sevaende kuchikoro tikaonawo
bhondi riri kutirwadza isusu kushayika kwaro nekuti zvoni izvo zvikombe yakwira mari bhondi riri kutanga riri kushanda kumachenji mani chete.
I won't go on and on with this video, but you can see what's going on. If they have a shortage of cash, how can they survive? See, what's happening in the world right now is we're creating a more poor class of people that has no choice but to rely on governments to give them things, which is exactly this great reset. So just be careful with that. This is why you want gold and silver. This is why you want something outside of the system, so this doesn't happen to you. I can't stress that enough. So if you're trying to reduce the world's population, not having enough cash means you can't go get food, you can't buy the things that are necessary there in your own country. So you starve to death. You can't get the education so your children could be educated and trained for future jobs. It's hard to do when you're not educated. That's happening everywhere. It's terrible. In the United States, we have the teachers union. It's just a freaking joke. All right, they're really powerful. They have a lot of money and influence our politicians. That union needs to be broken up. We need to go to a system that rewards teachers for being successful in teaching our children. We went away from that, man. We are so far removed from God and just what is right in countries everywhere. People are too busy focused on the most stupidest crap out there. They really are. Anyways, you can see here it says ordinary Zimbabweans, especially street vendors, say the cash shortage have affected them a lot as it is difficult to trade in foreign currencies. Some parents say it is now difficult to pay school fees as most government schools are demanding the payment of fees in Zim dollars, which are just not available. What do you mean their schools are not free? This is like the craziest crap ever. They are a rich nation, man, and they're having to pay for their kids to go to school. That's going to start happening everywhere. Only the privileged will have an education. Economists believe the situation will soon improve. Governments will soon start releasing more Zim dollars as elections and agriculture season approaches. The central bank and the government have remained mum on the shortage of Zim dollar notes, but independent newspapers, Newsday reports that authorities have intentionally stopped injecting money into the economy as a way to arrest hyperinflation. Man, this is the current year-on-year inflation is 285%. When the people of the world all wake up and start to realize that the cause of most of our problems are our own governments, they're not there to help you. They're not there at all to help you. Every law that they pass benefits special interest groups and hurts the citizens. We're paying more and more in taxes, but we have taxation without representation. Nobody told them to send money over to Ukraine. Who gave them permission to do that? We have our own issues here in the United States. We have a huge homeless problem. There's something not right here, man. Anyways, you can see that the Zim currency has a cash shortage and that the Vietnam Dong is losing value to the US dollar. The truth is, I don't see any reason for those things to be happening, but it is what it is. So if you have the Vietnam Dong, it looks like this could be a long ride. Just do like I did. Just throw it in the drawer, hang tight, and see what happens. If you have the Zim dollar, yeah, just throw it in the drawer and let's see what happens. Anyways, that's it for now. That's the news on the two currencies I thought I would share with you. Leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. That's it for now. I am out.